Superbooth 22. I'm here on the booth of Dreadbox with Yanis. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
How are you with synth developing? Because I met together last September at Superbooth for the Nymphos.
Yeah.
So far, how are you happy with the feedback from customers? So
we are doing very well, and people are happy.
and you did a lot of feedback. You did a lot of firmware updates. I saw.
It was just one major update with MPE, polyphonic aftertouch, and other good things like that.
Is there some future plans for updates for Nymphos, or is it now at the stage where you say it's fine for us?
I think it's at a good stage, but we have a lot of requests, and we usually listen to customers and we do them. Especially when it's on programming, some requests are very easy to do and implement, so you just do it.
Is there plans for an editor, maybe in future, or because I think you wrote it on the website one day and then it doesn't come out yet?
We won't do it directly, but our resources for someone to do one are available for anyone to ask for free, and anyone can ask us and get whatever he needs to do an editor. So, from that perspective, it's open for anyone who likes to do one.
Okay, and now for Superbooth, you are going the DIY direction again.
This year is the DIY year for us.
What is for you so fascinating on the DIY? Is it that people can build the stuff on your own and experiment with components, or follow? It's more an education route, or what is so fascinating for you as a developer for creating such kits? Because not every developer is creating DIY. I think it's also a little challenge to make it easy and not that hard.
To start with, if I wasn't a DIYer, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Let's start with that. Hopefully more people can learn out of this. Second thing is, yes, it's a big challenge to make a DIY kit be easy for the user. So I'm really enjoying making kits. That's the most simple and straightforward thing to say about why we're making them. We are enjoying them. It's fun.
And I think it's quite a because the synth community is a big community, and I think the DIY direction is always a bit more the people that they're more experimental on the way.
It's a thing. The DIY community, especially the synth DIY community, it's a thing. If you go online on Facebook and check about pages or groups that are DIY, you'll be amazed how many people are in these groups. And the things you learn, I read these groups, and in many of them I'm active and replying. Maybe they won't recognize me as I use a different name, but anyway, the things you learn from there are amazing. I'm still learning.
And now for the Superbooth, I saw you make a Groovebox in DIY, and you're bringing back some older ones, or of your most, I'd say, the legends of Dreadbox.
Yeah, well, we actually brought back the ones that had the most requests for us to do. So we brought the Erebus, and is exactly as it was. The difference is that it's now in a Eurorack format also, but it can be in a standalone case. And it has a small USB power supply, which you can remove and add it directly to the Eurorack power supply. That's a bonus. And then we have the Hades, exactly with the same specs as the Erebus, as it was in Eurorack format with the USB power supply, or you remove it and you have it in Eurorack. I would show them to you, but they sound exactly the same, so it's pointless. Anyone can put an old video on Hades and Erebus now are SMD. There is the improvement on the envelope generators, which are now digitalized, and this, as weird as it sounds, it's an improvement. Erebus and Hades had very, very slow envelope generators, and they had this sustain back, as they call it, where after the sustain stage, when you release the key, there was another burst, but now this is addressed. Apart from that,
is everything the same? Yeah.
It's everything the same. Yeah, and some minor changes which a user might not even realize.
And in the Erebus, so the echo is the same.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
It's the
nice
same.
sounding.
I don't know if it sounds, if you can hear it here on the camera. It's exactly the same as it was.
Okay. And so this will be at the beginning, as I said, a DOI, and maybe later assembled. So it's not yet fixed.
I cannot promise that it will be assembled, as we are also using a microcontroller to do the MIDI handling and the envelope generators. So if we can find more of this stuff, we might do it.
Okay. And now for Superbooth 22, you have a very interesting looking and very unique new Groovebox in modular.
It's in the same aspect as the Erebus and the Hades. It has its own box, although the box won't be available in the DIY kit. It's here just to present, to be clear on that. So it will be either a Eurorack or a standalone machine, because we give stands for the unit. And it's actually a Groovebox, so you have the Nymphos here and the sequencer from here. It has a 32-step sequencer, and in each step you can store 3 different parameters per step, so it's pitch, velocity and accent per step. And you can also have different ratcheting on each step, which is a single hit, 2 hits, triples or 4 hits. Just a very, very quick on how it sounds. That was just a very, very quick show up of what's happening here.
And this engine is an analog engine, yeah?
Yeah, it's a full analog engine.
And it's based on one of your older synths, or is it a newly developed one?
It's a new thing. So it has 2 analog oscillators. There are many VCAs in here included, because you can control many stuff. It has volume control on many things here. So it has 2 analog oscillators, a 12 dB filter, which can be band pass or low pass. Low pass. We have a noise generator, of course. You cannot do a groove machine without one. And there is this unique part, which is the DFAM control. And it says you either sending the noise or VCO2 to the cutoff or VCO1. And I will show you in a while. You can have per step control over that, which is maybe what makes this get its timbre. So let's start. A very, very quick show of how this works. So you have 4 modes here. It says play, record, live, or clear. Clear is just to clear a pattern, and I could clear the pattern we had right now, so it's clear. And as soon as I do that, it's just the same step, which gets the sound from what you have set up here. Now I change the divisions anyway. So now we have this simple raw sound of 2 oscillators. And what you want to do at first is sculpture that sound. let's say we want to start here, and then you go to the next step, which is record, and here you do a record on step by step, like select pitch for the step, velocity level, accent level, and for now I will send the velocity to control the FM amount. So pitch level, let's make something like a kick or something similar there. Next step, let's make something like a snare. Next step, again something like a kick. Next step, snare it up, make it triple, and let's say we only need these 4 steps. Press them both, and now it's that simple. Now you could do that with a MIDI keyboard and play notes and record them. It's easy. You really can do that, or you can. Let's go here again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm doing random things. Anyway, last step there. And you can live change these parameters. And they are recording.
So is it possible to then to shape these individual sounds again, or are they fixed, or are they captured in this sequence?
They're captured. So it's time a step ends. It reads the last values you have here and stores them.
Okay.
It's that simple. So let's make it a little bit more interesting here. Go to live record. I would like to reset the pitch, and I do a little trick here. And I will just re-record the pitch. And now this is recorded. It's that simple. Just capture the sound on your way. Or you could just control all the stuff with these parameters. Not interesting. Let's go here and over here. And I mean, okay, I'm a very bad sequence maker, but I think you get the point on how to sculpture that. And it doesn't have to be a groove. It could be a bass line. So let's make a bass line, for example. Clear the pattern and say record, step 1. Oh, let's make a sound. Let's say we're gonna make a bass sound. Here, low pass filter, no resonance, a little bit of decay. There. There. Go. Step 1. Step 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And play. You could do that very much more easily. You have a keyboard, of course, and you input the notes.
And everything is patchable, so it's Euro compatible.
Yes. I mean, you can control most of these parameters.
Is it possible then to use also the voices, same without the sequencing as a normal analog synth?
Yes, and it just plays like a normal synth. Or you could just use the sequencer because you can have a clock in, gate input, clock out, gate output. Here, there's a way to control this, and you have 16 sequences to store. Oh, I think that's pretty much covered everything.
Okay, and you said it's DIY. So what is the difficulty or the level of knowledge you must have to make this? Is beginner friendly or compared to your other DIY kits?
I wouldn't say it's super friendly, but it has everything you need in there. I mean, all components are included, so you don't have to purchase anything. You just need to know how to solder, how to read a construction manual, and be careful with it. And then it does also require some tuning skills because you have to trim the oscillators. So I wouldn't say it's an easy kit, but it's not like something extreme. Okay. It's doable. It goes for 200 euros. That does not include VAT, of course. And it will be available from next week.
Okay. So there's no chip crisis for you. You are delivering stuff.
Yep. This is almost ready.
How about Hades and the Erebus? At what stage of development we are, or when we can expect them at?
Their development should be ready to ship in about 1 to 2 months, I would say.
It's the summer, yeah.
What?
Summertime.
Summertime, yeah. But they have a much lower level of difficulty, as there are most of the components are already soldered on those one. While on the Dysmetria, it's everything through hole, so you have to solder everything.
And the price point or for the Hades and the Erebus, what your expectations
I
estimated?
haven't figured out the numbers yet, but it will be similar to Dysmetria.
Okay.
That will be.
So it will be less. It will definitely less than the initial versions, the hardware versions. There.
That will be definitely less.
Okay. Thank you, Dianis.
Thank you very much.
I wish you a good further 3 days because we are now at the first day here. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.